What if I told you that humanity's first great leap toward civilization didn't start with fire, the wheel, or even bread, but with a metal accident? Yep, the world's first oops moment in metallurgy gave us bronze, a mashup of copper and tin that turned villages into cities, warriors into armies, and awkward goat stealing into full-blown empires. This is the story of the Bronze Age, the era where humanity went from surviving to thriving. Life before bronze, the struggle was real. Let's rewind. Before 3300 BCE, people were hacking away at the world with stone tools, effective but clunky. Farming with stone was like mowing a football field with toenail clippers. You could do it, but why would you? Copper arrived as humanity's first dabble in metallurgy, but it was weak, beautiful for jewelry, useless for chopping wood or defending your sheep. The Chalcolithic, or Copper Age, was basically Stone Age 2.0, just shinier. And then one day, somewhere in the Near East, someone threw the wrong rock into the fire. It contained tin. Out came a metal that was sharper, stronger, and rust-resistant. Bronze wasn't just better, it was revolutionary. Why did bronze change everything? Bronze tools worked harder, longer, and faster than anything before. Imagine trading your rusty bike for a sports car. Suddenly, you could plow more fields, harvest more food, and build more than just mud huts. More food meant bigger populations. Bigger populations meant cities. Cities meant governments, laws, and, because humans can't resist, taxes. Specialists appeared. Builders, soldiers, priests, merchants. Humanity was leveling up, and with bronze weapons those specialists didn't just guard food, they conquered it. Agriculture was supercharged. Bronze plows ripped through the soil, clearing land for massive farms that stretched as far as the eye could see. Bronze axes made quick work of forests, letting people build new homes and barns. Suddenly, farming surpluses exploded, granaries filled up, bakeries fired up their ovens, and trade markets buzzed with activity. Humanity moved from always hungry to, hey, let's make bread and beer. And if you're wondering why beer mattered, it gave people safe hydration when water was sketchy. So yes, we might literally owe civilization to bronze tools and beer. Cheers. Food surpluses meant population booms. Enter cities like Uruk, one of the world's first mega-cities with tens of thousands of people. Babylon soon followed, complete with ziggurats, giant pyramid-like temples that dominated the skyline. Egypt's Nile Valley became a powerhouse. Pharaohs oversaw massive irrigation systems and monumental construction like the pyramids, which required an insane amount of labor and organizational skill. Bronze tools made it possible. Then came the Minoans on Crete. They built sprawling palaces with plumbing systems and traded across the Mediterranean. Without bronze, they'd still be in caves. And let's not forget the invention of writing systems. Cuneiform in Mesopotamia, hieroglyphs in Egypt. Bronze Age scribes became the world's first accountants, lawyers, and historians. Suddenly, you could record laws, taxes, and epic poetry instead of just yelling across the village square. This is where things got intense. The first true swords appeared, sleek, lethal, and durable. Bronze spearheads and arrow tips shredded through stone weapons. If you had bronze, you didn't just win, you humiliated your enemy. Then came the chariot, the sports car of the ancient battlefield. Imagine two soldiers barreling across the plains, arrows flying. To face that on foot? Terrifying. Professional armies emerged, with structured ranks and strategies. Warfare became institutionalized, and power shifted dramatically. Whoever controlled bronze production controlled the world. The bronze trade superhighways. But here's the catch. Copper and tin rarely hang out together. Copper was common in places like Cyprus and Anatolia. Tin was rare, hidden in Afghanistan, Central Asia, and Britain's Cornwall. This forced civilizations into long-distance trade. The Phoenicians became legendary sailors, delivering tin and copper across the Mediterranean. Caravans snaked across deserts carrying ore to Mesopotamian cities. And this wasn't just about metal. Trade networks spread languages, art, and even technologies. Bronze wasn't just a tool. It was the glue connecting entire civilizations. With bronze tools, humanity got ambitious. Egyptians built pyramids and statues that still stand. Mesopotamians created intricate jewelry and temple reliefs. Minoans painted vibrant frescoes and crafted delicate metalwork. Stonehenge rose in Britain, a Bronze Age monument aligned with the stars. And of course, bronze itself became art. Decorative masks, mirrors, and ornaments showed status and style. Ancient bling culture was very real. While the West flexed with swords and jewelry, China turned bronze into high art and heavy industry. The Shang dynasty pioneered piece mold casting, producing massive ritual vessels covered in dragons and geometric designs. These weren't just dishes, they were political tools, used in ceremonies to show divine authority. Kings displayed them in elaborate rituals, surrounded by incense and music. Foundries at Anyang could mass-produce hundreds of items at once. Bronze halberds and armor made their armies formidable on the battlefield. Bronze inscriptions became some of the earliest written Chinese records. Close-ups reveal intricate characters and stories cast in metal. China's Bronze Age lasted longer than in the West. Even after iron took over elsewhere, bronze remained culturally vital, proof of its deep symbolic power. The Bronze Age collapsed, the perfect storm. But around 1200 BCE it all came crashing down. The late Bronze Age collapse hit like an ancient apocalypse. Trade networks broke, crops failed, and mysterious invaders known as the Sea Peoples stormed coastal cities. Entire civilizations vanished, the Hittites crumbled, the Mycenaeans collapsed into centuries-long dark ages. Egypt survived but was severely weakened. It was the first recorded global collapse, proof that interconnected societies can fall like dominoes when disaster strikes. The Bronze Age was ending, but a new era was just beginning. Iron ore was everywhere, waiting for someone to unlock its power. Once smelters cracked the high-heat code, iron tools and weapons became cheaper, tougher and more common than bronze ever was. The Hittites and Assyrians led the way, forging iron swords and armor that turned them into ancient superpowers. Then came steel, iron mixed with carbon, stronger, sharper and more flexible than anything before. With steel, civilizations like Rome and Han China reshaped the world, building empires, aqueducts and legends. Bronze still had its niches, but the crown had passed. Iron and steel ruled the new age. Bronze's second life. And yet, bronze never died. Engineering, bronze bearings, bushings and propellers still power machines today. Music, cymbals, bells and gongs rely on bronze's unique resonance. Fun fact, the biggest gong in the world in Myanmar is bronze and weighs over 25 tons. Art, bronze statues endure centuries of weather. Bronze became less about survival and more about beauty, sound and precision. The long shadow of bronze. The Bronze Age wasn't just a technological revolution, it set humanity's blueprint. Cities, trade, governments, armies, art, even written history, all trace back to this metal mistake, and its legacy still echoes. Every time you see a bronze statue, hear a church bell, or watch a gong being struck, you're hearing the heartbeat of an era that started 5,000 years ago. The future of bronze. Yes, it still matters. In aerospace, bronze alloys are used in aircraft engines for their strength and resistance to wear. In renewable energy, bronze components help in wind turbines and hydropower systems. In medicine, copper in bronze has antimicrobial properties. Researchers are exploring its use in hospital equipment. Bronze isn't obsolete, it's evolving. Just like it once transformed farming, trade and war, it may still play a role in shaping our technological future. The big takeaway. The Bronze Age wasn't just about metal. It was about humanity stepping into the future for the first time, creating civilizations, building monuments, writing laws, trading across continents, and learning how fragile but powerful interconnected societies can be. And while bronze eventually gave way to iron, steel, and silicon, its echoes are still with us, in our machines, our music, our art, and our identity. So the next time you hear a gong or see a bronze statue, remember, you're looking at the metal mistake that built civilization. And if this journey from stone to steel lit up your imagination, smash that like button, subscribe for more history that feels alive, and check the description for more deep dives into the inventions that shaped our world.